Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another episode here on Warriors Amongst Men, Spirit Amongst Flesh, Needs over Wants, Thriving over Surviving, Lions amongst the sheep, the awake amongst the sleep. You got any more? Let me know in the comments. Now, today I want to talk to you about what it means to be spiritual and the benefits of being spiritual, really. And I've got a bit of a funny story for you, but also it's got a good moral to the story, so I want to share it with you. And it's something that's happened to me recently. I want to really show how synchronicity works, but not just how synchronicity works, how sometimes you may be missing key parts of information that God is trying to share with you along your journey. And it's because we're not present, and I want to share with you a little story that's going to really show this. Now, recently, it is quite funny. Recently, I've just moved into this new place, right, in Thailand, about 2 months ago now. And obviously, I'm just a guy who focuses on my mission and things like that in life, and one of the things I'm not very good at is cleaning. But I try to keep my house clean and organised, but I don't know the tricks of the trade. So I know, like, if my mum watches this, she'll probably be like, Sam, you should have known better than that. But, like, for example, my toilet recently, I thought, how do I clean my toilet and keep it clean all the time? So I bought some bleach from the shop, and I just like launch it round the room and just let it, obviously leave it overnight, then flush it in the morning. But every single time I've done it, the bleach has just sunk to the water, and then I flush it, and then it's just made the water part of the bowl go really white. But then above it, it's made it look more dirty, because the water part of the bowl is so white now, and the rest of it looks a bit dark and dirty sort of thing. And it's like, oh, how do I get rid of that? But I've not really got time to think about these things, because I've got so much other things on my mind, because I'm not present enough in these situations. Maybe I could have dealt with it better, I guess. But what happened was, obviously in my head I think, right, I've got to deal with that somehow, but I've got other things I'm thinking about, so I just get on with my day. And God was speaking to me. He said, I'll teach you how to fix it. And what happened was, I was cleaning the surfaces and wiping them with some kitchen roll and stuff, and then I got this big ball of kitchen roll and lobbed it down the toilet, and it was obviously stupid. I don't think you're even supposed to do that in Thailand. And I pressed flush, and it obviously just got stuck and blocked in the bottom of the bowl. And I went to flush it, and then I just went to bed, and then I woke up in the morning, the water had just risen to the top of the bowl. I like how my whole video is about my toilet. But you're still watching, aren't you? So the water had risen to the top of the bowl, and obviously in the morning I was like, oh, gross, and I had to like put my hand in, and I think I'd peed in there and everything. It wasn't pretty, and I pulled the bit of kitchen roll out and threw it in the bin. And then the next day I saw that fucking bowl, that's pissing me off, how it's white at the bottom and then it's not the rest of it. And then I thought, hang on a minute, God's already taught me how to fix this. So I got some kitchen roll, stuffed it into a bowl, and I put it in the bottom of the bowl and flushed it, and then got it to just get stuck at the bottom basically, and it made the water rise to the top. And then I got the bleach and just launched loads of bleach in the water and just let it sit there overnight. And then obviously when I've taken the kitchen roll out and flushed it, the whole thing's gone nice and white. So that's good news. And it was like, because I was aware of the language of life, because God was teaching me. I put the thought out there, this is what I need to do. I didn't have to think about it so much, like Google it or chat GPT it or something, because our mind is the most powerful. It's basically chat GPT. The connection we have with the divine is like, it's like speaking to ChatGPT, speaking to God. So you put your thoughts out there, but then you have to be open to receiving little lessons like that. Because obviously when I woke up in the morning and just saw my bowl of the toilet like all the way to the top, I was like that's not good, is it? But I didn't think of the lesson until later on, and it was like, I can actually clean my bowl just doing that. I know there's probably a better way, like my mum, for example, is probably watching this thinking, Sam, you should just do this and whatever. I think it was because the bleach I was using was quite weak, so it just would go to the bottom of the toilet bowl. Look what we're talking about. But this is what it's like, and you can apply this to your life in any situation, but sometimes we're just not present with the language of life, and we think about things and God's trying to teach us, or there's something in your environment, like a book on the shelf that has information in it, but you just go back to your subconscious patterns of just watching the TV or whatever every night. But actually, if you faced your fears and maybe spent a little bit more money than you would usually, go and buy a deck chair, put it in the garden, now you want to read your book out there because you haven't got TV or something. When you just take a leap of faith, anything just like that, it's always going to reveal to you a story. It's the language of life and how it is speaking to us. That's what I call it anyway, but it's a communication, you just have with the energetic field around you. That's how we are creating all the time. So if you ever feel lost in life, I remember a time when I felt kind of lost about 8 years ago when I was getting into spiritual awakening, and I remember being in this house with my friends and that, and I think we'd smoked a joint or something the night before, and we'd had a good laugh, and maybe a couple weeks had gone past, and I was feeling a bit down, a bit lost, didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. Like, my one foot was in one world and another foot was in another world, and I was just stuck there procrastinating, couldn't move. But in my environment there was still like half of this joint that we'd smoked from like 2 weeks ago, and it was just my own apartment where I was living. I had a little annex in the countryside, it was beautiful, and I thought, right, I'm going to take this little this little joint, and I went for a walk and I obviously smoked some of it, and I got so many ideas, and I went back to my apartment and I wrote all my ideas down, and from that point forwards I had a lot more clarity. But my point is, again, because of the situations that have occurred, God leaves little gifts for you in your environment. It's just, do you see them? And you're only going to see them if you're present and you're open and receptive to reading the language of life in this way. So anyway, I hope this resonates with you. Let me know what you think. Do you experience any sort of synchronicities like this? Do you have this ability to pick up on important key items in your environment? I love talking about these sort of things. Let me know in the comment section below. If you'd like further one-to-one guidance with me, I do offer one-to-one sessions, and I'm now actually, as of this week, since it's my birthday week, it's my birthday on the 29th of April, so I'm offering a special deal. You can check it out in the link in the description box below or in the comment section. I appreciate you guys. Let me know what you think. Until next time, peace and love, my friends.